All right, hey there, everyone. Today, what I want to do is try out some of these beef dices. This is the main reason for this video, and I figured while I'm at it, I may as well try. I'll put it in something. These are both available from Legacy Foods. I sell Legacy Foods over at the SHTF shop, and have never tried these before, so I want to taste test them, texture test them, see how they work out, see what they taste like on their own, and then I'll mix it in with this and see how this works. On this package right here, this is 19 servings, about $90, I believe. But 19 servings, 130 calories per serving, and let me see the protein. 16 grams of protein per serving. So what the directions are is to add 1 cup of beef slices with a half cup of water, let it sit for 15 minutes. So we'll do that, and while it's sitting, we will do this broccoli and cheese and broccoli bake. And this is 420 calories per serving. Serving size is 1.5 cups, so probably 2 servings. So you're looking at 840 plus some more here with this. You're looking at maybe close to 1,000 calories for an actual meal. So what we'll do is we'll start off these beef dices right here real quick with a half a cup of warm water, is what it says, for 1 cup of the beef dices. And what's cool is these beef dices, the bag itself is resealable. So you can open this up, remove the oxygen absorber, and then when you're done, you can reseal this back up. Freeze-dried food is if it's sealed properly, you could even reseal this with your if you have a sealer and some oxygen absorbers. If it's just sealed like this, you're probably looking at still a good 6 months, maybe even a year that this is going to be good for. So at any rate, now that we've got rid of the oxygen absorber, let's go ahead and get a cup of the meat here. And I'll show you what this looks like before we even put it in there. Just looks like little chocolate marshmallows is basically what it looks like. But we will throw this in here. We'll mix that around a little bit, and then we will get started on the cheese and broccoli bake. Grab a spoon here. Just start mixing this together. And periodically, I will come over and just mix this stuff up as well. And then it says after 15 minutes, discard the excess water. So let's go ahead and move over to the stove, and we'll get started on this cheese and broccoli bake. All right, first off, this says to empty this whole package and then 7.5 cups. I'm only going to use half of this package. Then I'm going to reseal the rest of it. So what I'm going to need is 3 3/4 cups of water, but I need to be able to get half of this. So I've got my scale right here. So this package, once I empty it all out, is, all right, 13.7 ounces. Not sure if you can see that. So what I need to do is get about 6 3/4 ounces out of this and put it back in the bag. All right, now that's pretty good right there. So this is basically half the bag. So if I put this back on there, we've got 6.7 ounces. So now let's get some water and start doing this. All right, so this says get 7.5 cups of water for a full bag. Cook for 12 to 15 minutes and then remove from heat and let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. So we need 3 3/4 cups of water. Bring that to a boil. And 3/4. We'll let that come to a boil. And then we will see what we'll go check the meat, make sure it's been about 5-6 minutes, so we'll check that out. All right, so this has been sitting in here, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. I should have timed it, but I didn't. And I just wanted to see how it's doing so far. it's starting to look less like chocolate marshmallows and more like beef. Now, with this, it's starting to get a little squishy, a little soft, so that's good. Also, what we're going to do is put it in the creamy stuff, so it's going to actually absorb some of that moisture as well, so it should be pretty good. But we'll let this go ahead and finish, and then cook the other stuff. Let the other stuff finish cooking, and then we'll see how everything tastes. All right, so I poured the contents of this bowl. I forgot to hit the record button, but I poured it in here with the 3 3/4 cups of water, and we're gonna let it sit. I set the timer now for 12 minutes. And then what I'm going to do is once I turn it down to medium high or medium boiling, and then once this 12-minute timer is up, I'm going to see what it's like, and then go a little extra up to that 15 like they said. And then what I'll do is I'll throw those beef chunks in here and let it sit a little bit, that 5-10 minutes like they said, and then we'll dish it up and see what it's like. So one other thing too, we've been about 7-8 minutes now. With freeze-dried food, you want to make sure and break everything up. Freeze-dried food can be pretty tricky because you want to be able to break things up, but you don't want to turn it all to mush while you're doing it. So I think this looks pretty good as far as how broken up. There's not going to be any or many dry chunks. It's almost inevitable, though, no matter what you eat as far as freeze-dried food, you're going to have that chunk in there that just didn't quite get done. But we'll give this another 6-7 minutes, and then we'll put the beef in. All right, so this has been sitting for about 15 minutes now, and before I put it in the cheese and broccoli bake, I wanted to just taste test this and see how it is just on its own, and see how the texture is of these. So with this, it seems like it's pretty spongy. Feels like what beef should probably feel like. So what we're going to do is taste this and see how it is, and then we'll throw it in the stuff. It's pretty good, actually. It's actually really good. It tastes more, I suppose, like hamburger rather than the picture on this bag. But it's actually pretty good. You could actually, if you wanted to, just eat this yourself, make some sort of, I mean, you can do all sorts of things with this. They also have chicken available. We have chicken available at the SHTF shop too, along with this. But that works pretty good. What we're going to do now is drain off this water, and then we will throw it in the cheese and broccoli bake, and then we'll taste test that and see how it looks and tastes. All right, so we are at about 14 or so minutes here, and this actually looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do is turn off the heat, and then add the beef dices and stir that in. With these beef dices, I have already drained the water out, so we'll put this in here. Still a little bit of water left over down there, but I don't know that matters too much. I'll try not to get all of it. Stir that in there. Everything's better with meat in it, right? Actually looks pretty dang good. Not a whole lot of broccoli in there, but that's okay. I've actually got a harvest right, and I've got some freeze-dried broccoli I could have put in here, but it's too late at this point. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let this sit right here for the 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll plate it up and see how it tastes. Okay, so this should be ready to go now. So what we are going to do is dish this up, and I'm going to use 1 serving because I want to figure out exactly how many calories this is. So 1 serving is 1.5 cups, so you've got 420 in there. And then the 130 for a half a cup of this, I figured maybe, 50, 60 calories. So when you take the 420 plus the 60 calories, you're looking at close to 500 calories for this for 1.5 cups. So let's go ahead and see what 1.5 cups looks like. So we've got that right there, which is about 500 calories. Not too bad. This actually, I was going to say maybe 2 servings would be something like a meal for me, but honestly, just a little bit more of this and I'd probably be good to go. But let's go ahead. I'm going to let that cool off a bit, and then we'll go ahead and try it out. I'm not going to put any more salt in it because long-term food storage has quite a bit of sodium anyway, but got to have pepper on it. So I am going to throw some more pepper on it. You could throw some more cheese, but I've already tasted this a little bit, and it's really got a good flavor. So we'll just let this sit right here. I am curious, though, how much you get total out of this. So we've got 1.5 cups here in this, and let's see how much more we can get out of this. There's another cup. So basically you're getting 4 cups of the broccoli cheese bake right here with the beef dices, the 1/2 cup of beef dices, which turns into 1.5 cups. So you're getting 4 cups of food right here, and this is another. This could be a serving depending on the SHTF situation, but so you look at it, maybe a meal for 2 people for half this bag. So this whole bag would either feed you 2 meals that day for 2 people, or a family of 4 at dinner time. All right, so we let this sit here for a few minutes, and what we'll do is we'll give it a taste test now. You can doctor this up with whatever you want. I don't really think you need to. Like I said, I was going to put some cheese on it, but it really already has a really good flavor, so I'm not too worried about it. I want to make sure I get a few chunks of beef in here. We'll test this out. That is actually really good. That is better than some of the crap you get at the store these days, canned food or whatever. This is definitely a meal if it was some sort of a disaster situation or even an everyday situation. You're just looking for something to cook. This is actually pretty good. The beef dices are really good. It's actual beef dices. It tastes like beef dices. The potatoes and the cheese in this it's just really good. I'm really impressed with this meal right here. I will be doing more taste tests of these in the future. Maybe I'll get some chicken dices, but this came out of the 72-hour kit that they send, which is a 72-hour kit for 2 people. But this is really good. I've tried the chili, and it was like, it needs a little bit of doctoring up. But this right here, straight out of the package, is just fantastic. As long as you got to have meat in. I've got to have meat in a meal. So as long as there's some meat in it, it's good to go. So these together would be fantastic. And like I said, this comes. You can reseal this bag right here, and it'll last 6 to 12 months. And if you've got a vacuum sealer, if you've got oxygen absorbers, you can seal this back up just like it was before. So pretty cool. Pretty good little meal right there.